messed it up.
It's our quiet pause at the beginning.
Started talking.
So Paige can not struggle for like an hour trying to find a picture of us that doesn't look insane.
Yeah.
Hi. Hey, Fondy. How are you?
Yeah, how's it going over there on the other side of town?
We are your chronically late friends. We post that we will be live at 1:30 and then
And then
it's around 1:35, 1:40.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. We thought we knew we had to rock this week's celebration bag.
She convinced me because I'm in love with these, but when I put one on myself, I feel like, ugh.
I think it's just a mental thing.
A lot of things are a mental thing.
Because it looks cute. I love these. I'm addicted to them.
You always look good in them.
It's like a uniform for my messy bun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just to make the messy bun look a little fancy. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
As we wait for other people.
Well, let's talk about being late for a second, because that's a chronic problem that I have. I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but I always think I can fit like 5 more things in before I need to leave / be somewhere, and that gets me in a lot of trouble. And I think that's what happens here. We're always like, oh, we're doing good on time, and then I do some more stuff, and then we're late.
Oh, you can stop laughing now. You know we look good in these.
She had to convince me. She had to send me multiple texts.
Yeah. He always makes fun of me in this.
Why?
I don't know.
I think she looks really cute.
Himself. Yeah.
I will be honest. I'm getting really hot in here, though. So
it's always hot in here until the winter, and then we'll be freezing once winter.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, these like facial masks will be really convenient in the winter when we go places because your head will be warm, your face will be warm. Yeah. Don't have that cold, that uncomfortable cold air on your face. Mm-hmm. I keep telling my kids that. You guys, we have something to look forward to this year. What? Who's that? Is that just made up annoying names?
We're not listening to him anymore.
You guys, this is a shirt. Badass Babes Unite. I asked Paige if she had the shirt because I just assumed she obviously had this shirt. She asked me
that because of what I made her this week.
And I was reminded of this shirt, which I had forgotten about, which credit goes to Common Theory. They make this shirt, and it is my favorite thing that they make. But Paige brought me this bracelet last night. It says badass on it, obviously. And then another one that says mom. Mm-hmm. And I was reminded of this shirt.
They were selling them at Nordstrom's. I was like, I can make these.
You gotta cash in on that.
And beads.
And friends will wear them.
Exactly. I'll wear mine, don't worry.
So there you go.
We were talking about being late. Mm-hmm. We got sidetracked. Mm-hmm. So, and there's a lot of articles out there that talk about, like, you don't respect the people that you're meeting.
No, I've heard it all. I've heard a lot of that in my life, actually.
And I've always been the type of person that will, like, arrive somewhere 10 minutes early and, like, circle the block until I'm supposed to be there.
You respect people's time, whereas I don't give a crap. I'm just kidding.
I think it's more like that, like, anxiety that I get. Like, I don't want to be in the business aspect. Like, I don't want to be late to, like, any session or job that I have to be at. Mm-hmm. So that, and then in nursing, remember all those years I did that? Mm-hmm. You had to show up early. Like, your shift, you were pretty much there 30 minutes before your shift to get ready for your shift. Like, that was a part of your shift. So it's kind of like embedded in you. People still showed up late, but the majority.
As a lawyer, I appreciate the people who show up within 1 minute either way of their appointment and do not show up 10 minutes early and do not show up 10 minutes
That's
late.
why I circle the block. I'm like, I'm here and way too early. I cannot go in.
I will just annoy people if I go in this early.
But then here, something about quarantine has, like, shifted that for me. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'll be there when I'm there.
Deal with it. Or if you're Paige, deal with it. Just kidding. We have a joke about that in my house because we like to say you're kind of a big dill pickle. Mm-hmm. Max thinks that. Hilarious.
And now she's just making fun of my southern accent.
No, I'm not. So. I love your southern accent.
I don't even hear the difference.
Deal or dill?
Like, do you go around saying deal? What's a big dill?
I do hear the difference between a long E and a soft I.
I don't.
I'm jealous. I always wanted to have that. I'm serious.
What, a Southern accent?
Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, I was convinced I was
stick
supposed to
around.
have been from the South, and I would tell my mom that all the time. Like, I was clearly born in the wrong place. She's like, you don't know what you're talking about.
And I know most of you have heard my story about Chester drawers. I thought there was this guy named Chester that had invented drawers, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Chester drawers.
Well, who else would have?
And then when I moved to Boston, I was like, wait, what? Why are you calling it a chest of drawers?
I mean, that is really weird, you guys.
Yeah, but they say stuff too. Like they have what was
They
it?
us?
Like no, on the East Coast.
Okay.
Like they put R's on the end of things that I always thought was super Southern. Like Priscilla, my friend Priscilla, they called her Priscilla.
Yeah.
And I was
Washington.
just like,
have you heard of that? Washington?
I'm like, that's Southern. That's
Very
pretty.
odd.
But it's
Very,
not,
very
it
odd.
turns out. Anywho. Yeah.
We're supposedly the region that has no accent. Do we sound like an accent to you?
There's some things that are said.
That's been a question on my mind.
I will
for
think
years.
of it in a minute because it's just like this one thing that people say out here. And it's like they leave something silent. I'll think of it in a minute. It's just because I'm on the spot. And then we have a debate in the house about it's Colorado. Some people think it's Colorado. I'm not naming names.
Colorado. What? How do you say it?
Colorado.
Colorado. With a soft.
Other people say Colorado.
People from here say Colorado.
Or Midwest.
Have you heard Oregon?
No.
That one really bugs me. Because I went to school in Oregon for a while. There's a lot of words about and in Oregon that people mispronounce, like Oregon itself. I hear it on the national news all the time. Oregon. And I went to school in Willamette County. It's Willamette, damn it, not Willamette.
It's not?
There were like posters. It's Willamette, damn it. So you could remember how to say it. Hi, Mom.
Well, when I first moved here, I always thought it was Wallachet.
Oh, Willachet.
And it's Willachet.
We need to have something about Willachet in the store. It's Willachet, don't botch it. Oh, we need that. I did that on the spot, too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
There's that word.
She
likes to make fun of that.
Too hot.
It is hot. That's how it was the last couple weeks. It's okay. Just keep sweating over here. Well, we have...
let's wait on this till the end, I think. Let's talk about last night. We had book club last night. Darlin Lit Society met via Zoom. The best way to meet for an introvert like me. Don't have to leave your house.
I feel like you're getting a hard no on your...
No, just no. I don't know. I thought that was kind of clever. Obviously, I thought it was clever. I think a lot of things are clever.
I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't have come up with that.
It's We'll Watch It. Don't watch it. I think that's good. Christopher agreed to
He
disagree.
says Colorado, okay? So we're not listening.
I say Colorado.
Oh,
also.
here. I guess it should be like
He's
on the screen.
Oh, I almost said he's from there, but he's not from there. No. Okay. We read a book last month. It was called The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Why is that in my mind? I keep doing it. Anyways, Britt Bennett. Really good.
Well, and the next one's Brene Brown. We got like a lot of B's.
But don't fret, because October's a G, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And we had a great conversation. We did not have the author come to our book club this time. It's okay. We predicted it. We were prepared.
I tried.
Yeah.
Hard.
But we had a great conversation nonetheless. From the couch in our own living rooms.
Yeah.
Or outside, and that's very comfortable.
Yeah, it was great conversations. We're not going to give it away because we actually have a couple of books left if anybody is interested in reading it. It really dives into so many things in a fictional way, as far as racism, colorism, civil rights movement, LBGT, like it just like the list goes on in that book. So it was a lot of really great discussions. And now we're moving on to
Brene Brown's Braving the Wilderness. Hold
I
on.
just keep wanting to say Braving the Wild.
I
I think there's another book out there.
Your friendly Vanna White is here to show you. Looks like this. We have copies, you guys. I don't think you know this, but we have copies here. We
and
would love to get them into your hands to read, and we'd love it if you join the book club for fun. I say it every time, no pressure book club. Even if you haven't read the book, you can still join the book club just to hang out and chat with us because we have really good conversation. We do talk about the book though, so if you want to just like do well, hopefully you read it, but if you just do a little synopsis or
couple articles.
Like I told my sister, just read the article about the book because she had the book, but she didn't read it.
Ooh, she's gone.
And I'm just assuming that. I have no idea if she read it or not, but she didn't come to the book club, and I can only think it's because...
Are you guys seeing this? This is like a sibling issue happening right now. I am an only child. I have no idea what's happening. It's clearly
it's between me and her, and she knows what I'm talking about. But this book, read it with us. We'll have another great conversation. I will do my darndest to get Brene Brown to join our Zoom. Doubt she'll do it, but you know what? Stranger things have happened in this world.
Well, and like even I'm not even gonna lie. Yesterday I started this book. Well, I had started the night before, and then
Yes, Janet.
Then I started reading more when I got up, and was like already in tears. I mean, it's just really good. Like this is more of a. This is not fictional.
No.
It's
self-help.
The quest for true belonging and courage to stand alone, which I think a lot of us are experiencing right now in these times. Like just having to like really know who we are and what we stand for, our values, the risks that you're taking.
Well, and how hard is that right now? And like you feel a certain way so strongly, and you love and care about people who feel a certain way, the opposite way, super strongly. It's scary. It's hard.
You know, luckily, like you don't live in a split household. I think that's a hard one for a lot of people right now. That if political wise can be polar opposite in one household, and while any really other hard. Year would have been totally fine, I just felt there's like another level to this year.
Most people are dead to me.
We know. We've seen you all over Facebook, Christopher.
Even I've seen you on Facebook, and I don't go on Facebook. I keep getting notifications.
Christopher's let it all go. He's like, just fuck it. Yes. And so anyways, I feel like I am like, this week was like emotionally hard for me, and just putting like small business to the side, because you're also taking a risk as a small business owner. I feel like small business owners are not only being expected, like I've always kept politics and some belief stuff out of my business to keep it neutral, but like we're at the point where it's just a spotlight, like almost you can't just not say anything, and then the moment you do say something, you're being beaten. And it's just I something hit me this week of just how unkind and we are being to one another and humanity, and just in our country. Like I'm at that point where like a lot of people are worrying about school, and school feels like child's play. I'm like, I can teach school, it's fine. We gotta like survive the rest of this. And so
I think it's just one more thing.
Put it into perspective.
School's just one more thing that like what's the word? A factor that we haven't had for a while, that now you're just adding one more thing. You're like balancing a tray of a bajillion things, and now one heavy thing is getting added to it.
I had made a comment, which I knew I was going to get some backlash on one of my cousin's posts.
Really? Did you know?
And then it's like people are like already so quick to jump in, and they're not actively listening to learn. Like we were talking, they're listening to respond. And it was like, where are you? You ghosted me. You know, it's like this texting over and over. And I'm like, I actually work. Like, I will respond to you, but I don't just sit on my Facebook all day to have these debates with people. Oh, yeah. Janet took a beating on Facebook, too, this week. I think we've all at some point had that. And, you know, a lot of people get off of Facebook, and I could totally see why, but sometimes I just like to be in the know. I'll be honest. Like, my thing is I want to know.
Yeah.
And I want to know what you're saying, because I want to know if I want to be around you or not anymore.
Because
I'm learning like way too many things about people that have just like really shocked me. People I really looked up to, and even in the creative world where I'm like, what is going on? So
no, Facebook was never fun. I thought.
Yeah.
My friend said it perfectly today because she was like, "Oh, you're not on Facebook, are you?" We were having a long conversation. Like, nope, I don't do Facebook. She's like, smart, except it does teach you who you should avoid.
Yes.
I just can't even.
It's the old saying. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
You get to do that for us. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah. Exactly. That's all they're doing is trolling. And it's like, you're ghosting me. I'm like, I'm not ghosting you. Give me 5 minutes to put my thoughts together. I like to think before I speak.
Well, and sometimes the best answer is really just not an answer at all. Sometimes people are just trying to get emotion or frustration or a reaction out of you. And if you just don't respond, it takes the wind out of their sails.
Yeah. And we've hit a whole new level. We've got teenagers carrying guns and openly like their parents are carrying them to places, and it's just like, that is where I'm like, draw the line. I don't care if you're Republican, Democratic, I don't care, like it's illegal. And you are not of age or trained or in the military, like no. Done. That is my line. So good luck. Now you guys know, but we are not here to talk about all of this.
And as I feel you on the algorithms, they are the worst.
Well, even on Instagram, it's the same thing.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Well, it's owned by them. I will say it's a different world on Instagram versus Facebook. But yeah.
Yep.
Let me keep waving. People that join us. So, we were talking about risk taking in this book. What else were we going to say about risk?
I read this really good article, actually. Do you guys ever get the Magnolia Journal? I do.
Oh, that's what it was.
It's like a treat for me. Magazines in general. People say they're dying, but I am addicted to magazines. I think they're just like the most fun, like most indulgent thing that you can do. Do you too?
Yeah.
I love them. Oh my gosh, I love everything about it. The layout, everything. But I was reading this article.
Well, Janet's on here. You know she's going to say it. She owns them.
Yeah, Janet. I love magazines. This is going to look backwards to everybody else, but this was a column by Chip Gaines in this episode, which is the one I don't think you can buy on stands anymore. But it says, if fear wasn't part of the equation, how would your life look different? And then it's got a place for you to write your answer. But I thought it was really interesting because he was talking about fear and taking risk and how like something that might seem really scary to you or really risky to you might be like just a total no-brainer to somebody else. Like all of my fear and anxiety comes from like interpersonal reactions with people or interpersonal relationships with people and letting people down and that sort of thing. And like, I don't get the sense that you have the same circle of fear around you right there.
I have no fear. No. I just don't. Well, we talked about what's interesting. Both of these books, last month's book and this month's book, kind of throw you into some of those same topics. And so we were talking about it last night, and I have a very strong opinion about taking risk and doing what you want to do because life is short. Well, and I feel like this year has highlighted that even more. Things are getting crazy, people are acting crazy, and there's definitely long days, short years. It's September almost, and like we're like, wait a minute, we were just in March.
6 months ago.
And here we are 6 months later. I just don't. I mean, I think a lot of people would look at me and think, oh my gosh, she's crazy. She's done this and she does this and she doesn't know what she wants. She doesn't know what she wants to do. I do know what I want. I know exactly what I want. I want to experience it all, and I'm trying to cram it all into a very short lifespan. And I hear people say all the time, oh, I'm too old. I can't do this or that. And I just want to say, BS.
Yeah.
You can. The only person stopping you is you and your fears. So that's why we went down this rabbit hole.
Why not do what you want to do? Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, fear is irrational for a lot of us. And a lot of the things like that I would be afraid of, the Paige would not be afraid of, are completely irrational. If I look at them objectively, it's like, I don't care, but apparently I do care. Who knows? Who knows why? Yeah. But I think both of us are like, from the other perspective of things, I'm a lawyer who works with people writing their wills and dealing with people when they found out they've been diagnosed with terminal illnesses. And so I hear a lot of that type of rumination of just like, oh, I wish I would have done this, or like, I have no regret because of this. And so it's just a constant reminder of like, you are the only person who can live your life, and you have to live your life for you. I mean,
you don't care. You care what people think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do. I wish I didn't. I feel like I'm getting more and more away from it every month, basically. And there's a lot of stuff like starting a candle company, as being an attorney, and I feel very successful in my field there. It was not fulfilling for me. I love it. I do love my job. It's just, it's not everything. It's like how they say that like one relationship with someone is just never going to be everything that you need. You need to have these different things. And I was feeling really boxed in to like the analytical, and there was nothing artistic or creative about it. And like, I would think back on growing up, and all I ever did was like sing and dance and draw things and make things. And I was always doing that stuff. So to start the candle company for me felt like coming home, because it felt like, oh, this is something, I'm making something. I get to be creative with it. I get to try and take risk, and it doesn't feel risky to me at all because I've already become a lawyer, and that was scary and risky for me. But I got a lot of judgment from people on that.
Oh,
I was not expecting.
And I left my career.
Like, what? Yeah. And I didn't even leave my career.
Yeah.
But people are just like, why would you do that? And then same with opening the shop. It's like, I think there's a lot of people who are, but I don't care about that. That is what it is. Like, and I'm proud of us. I'm really proud of the fact that we had an opportunity that would have been really easy to say no to at that time. Because it's like, it was not convenient timing. It was really fast.
Yeah.
But we both wanted it. Like, when it's in your heart, it's on your heart, you just have to do it.
And it's what keeps me going this year. Like, really, I mean,
good point.
Yeah.
Good point, because my law practice, I'm not often frank about some of the business things with the law practice, because there's a certain level of, I don't know what the word is, there's a stigma about lawyers and the whole profession, but my profession has always just like, it feels like it just rolls and flows, and it's been really simple. And even in the hardest of times, like 2008, my law practice was solid, because people always need wills, people always die, and I handle the probates and the trust administrations, which is really sad, but it's a very stable business, basically. But when COVID hit, my phone stopped ringing for like 2 months. And that, like, in 17 years of practicing, that's never happened to me. And it was, like, the biggest oh shit feeling.
Well, everybody is assessing, like, what's essential, what's not. I mean, as far as spending money,
I felt frozen. I can totally empathize with people, and I didn't blame anyone for it. But there was a little bit of me that was like, is this going to come back again? Or, like, is this the new reality for me? And candles completely filled in where the law practice didn't in that period of time. So that was really eye-opening to me, too.
Yeah.
And even though I've told that to my husband, he still doesn't grasp it. He's not here, so he doesn't.
Well, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's almost hindsight. Like, until you are to, like, fully do something, there's no way to really wrap your mind around it. Like, oh, this is making money, things like that. I will say, like, when I shifted with my career, it was a slow progression out, in nursing management. I had definitely found that I was like not happy managing adult children. And of course I was bringing a new program to Seattle Children's, which I was up against like every radiologist that did not want me there, and nursing in that department. So I won't go into that full story, because I think most of you kind of know, but I got to the point where I was not healthy. I was grinding my teeth at night. I had already gotten to a level in that career where I knew the only thing that was going to happen was that I was going to go up, which meant more of my life would be devoured, like my personal life. So for me, it was like, I can either go up and do this, go back to school and really, think about being like upper management in a hospital setting, but I'm grinding my teeth at night. I'm miserable. I'm having these horrible nightmares. I'm dealing with all this stuff. And I was like, why am I doing this? I mean, it's rewarding, but it's not that rewarding. Like, it's just not, whatever.
It's funny because that job and my job, there's so much good that comes from it. There's a lot of parts of it that, like, I feel like it's really rewarding, and I'm really happy that I do it. And I know you feel the same way, but it's the other stress. It's a different kind of stress than this kind of stress. Or, like, when I make candles, I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe it's the liability and the willingness of people to just point the finger at you when you have nothing to do with their problem. Like, you didn't make them sick. I didn't give people a problem. Like, I didn't make them make a wrong choice or whatever, and I'm just there to help them. But
one of the whole reasons I was brought on and to bring them up to national standards was because of a death. The weight of that.
You heard it here.
I mean, it was just one of those things where somebody had anonymously waved that red flag. Then they were like, okay, let's trial this. Let's see what we've got to do. And then it just snowballed. It was not something I just found myself there. And I mean, while it was super rewarding, it was one of those things where I felt like that whole time that weight was on my shoulder. And then towards the end, there had been, not in our department or anything, and I know you guys heard it all in the news, and I'm not going to give away any confidential information, but other kids started dying in the hospital, and I mean, we were under such scrutiny. Like, I can remember being 9 months pregnant and then being like, you cannot go into labor. You're the only nursing representative in this department. You know how to speak to all of the things we've done, and that was just
it's a lot of pressure.
Heavy, and
well, it's almost like you can't be a person.
Yeah.
People hold you to a standard. And that was something, too, we talk about a lot in my office is, like, we're people first, we're lawyers second, or nurses second, or whatever. But people over everything else. And people make mistakes. People have babies. People, have a life that they need to go home to.
Oh, I was scared to death. I already knew. I knew it was the end of my career once I told them that I was pregnant. And I think we talk about a lot of these things. We talk about racism in the workplace. Females in the workplace and what kind of standards we're held to, and like this inability to think outside the box. I even had somebody that wanted to co-manage with me because we both had kids, and they were unwilling to. It was the most ridiculous thing, and then to be kind of like slapped in the face after the years I had given them and all the things that had been brought to light and changed. It was just like, are we seriously sitting here? I'm literally have to choose. And I was backed in a corner, and I can remember crying in that bathroom because, of course, I was not going to cry in front of anyone as a professional female.
The worst.
You cannot do that.
It's just the worst.
I remember getting up from that table and going in and being like, I just lost my job because I have a child. So
that's the stuff you don't anticipate when you're
growing up. And I mean, I didn't
up.
lose it. I chose to leave and be like, this is not what I want.
Yeah, but effectively, it's like, they make it, whatever. I don't want to talk like that, but it's just, you just hit these decision points in your life you just never would have imagined growing up. Like, you grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 80s, and it was a lot of, like, you can do anything you want, my parents were like, you must go to college, you can accomplish or be whatever you want, and then you run into these practical things you just wouldn't have anticipated. It's like being so naive in a way, and then just like, oh, I thought that just happened in the past. I didn't think that like still happens now.
Yeah. And thank you for the sweet comment. The inspiration comment.
I know. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, but I think that's where we kind of, and like, not to just be heavy this whole time. I think it was what throws us back to being like super appreciative of like the kind of careers and lives that we can choose, because really your job should be to fund your perfect life, which that looks so different to so many
and we feel lucky every day that we get to, our store isn't open, but we have hopes and plans for the future and longevity plans, and we just feel so fortunate. It's just, I feel very lucky every day that we made this choice, that we're both of the same mindset, just sticking with it, which we will, and just getting the chance to have kind of a new branch in life, even at this old girl's age. Because I'm still a badass babe.
I need my drink. So all that being said, we can tell. It's funny how we can tell with the vibe of the shop and comments and behind the scene things that are going on, what people are going through. That's been very interesting.
Well, and I think it's reading us too. Like, we'll both come in and just like, we'll say the exact same thing.
Be like, oh,
but
this week was this or
feels
that.
like a microcosm of the whole. Like, that's what probably most people are feeling right now.
I know. I need it too, Janet. I need the t-shirt too.
I'll hook you guys up.
Okay. What were we saying? Oh, so the vibe. We can tell that everybody is just trying to get ready.
Hold on. I think everyone is like the cat on the wall. You know those posters that are like, hang in there? I think that's what everyone's doing. The claws are like, you're like sliding down the curtain. Just like, okay, I'm just going to grip a little harder here.
And with school starting here next week, I don't know if there's anybody on here that's not local.
I have friends who have their kids already in school.
Yeah, we are going to take a slight break next week. We'll still have a bag. It is centered around back to school. It's really just fun and silly.
We are so pleased with ourselves, as always, with what we've come up with for you guys.
And so we'll market that. But we're going to not do the Darlin dish. We're just going to focus on school and
I thought we were doing the Darlin dish. Are we not?
I guess we could.
Yeah,
you'll be away, but we can split screen.
Yeah.
Mainly just that, pickups will be on Friday. And we're just going to...
Yeah, shop will be mostly closed next week.
Yeah.
We'll remind you.
So that everybody can just get in that back to school spirit.
And us too. Go school! I'm so excited.
Yeah,
you know what I'm excited
on the alcohol.
For, I've been worried since the day school let out. Actually, probably a week after that when I realized, this is much nicer not having all these requirements on us. Since that day, I've been worried about what it's going to be like to start school. So I think just doing it and then like getting our new routine is going to feel really good. And also,
I need something for the kids. We've gotten... I'm not even gonna lie.
They're bored,
I go upstairs, they go down. I go downstairs, they go up. The conversations, like, there's nothing new to talk about.
Totally.
And I feel like there's just a lot of like, and like they don't even want to go on a walk. You can't even get them to go. So they need something.
They do.
To focus on and exercise their brains. And
someone else to tell them what to do for a while so that they can appreciate us again. Because that's like since March, we've been telling them what to do the entire time.
I think some people are dreading it, and I'm just like, I'm ready to just get this show on the road. Like, we need to just...
Well, I was about to say, too, I hate to be this person because last week would have punched me in the face for saying it. But, like, there was one morning this week when I walked my dog, and I could feel... It was, like, bright and sunny and beautiful, like a summer day. But I could feel the cool breeze.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, fall is coming. It's here. Fall's here.
Well, I was in Tacoma.
I was relieved.
And I got off the interstate, and, like, there were full-on orange trees with, like, leaves blowing across the street. Yep. And it was that same feeling, and I was like, it's August. What is...
But it happens like this every year.
It does?
You kind of forget about it, and then...
In August?
Yep, end of August. I'm never ready, but you always get that little breeze, and then...
The orange leaves?
They go fast.
See, we've slowed down enough to where I'm actually paying attention to things. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It was weird. Because on the East Coast or South, it's October. It's not that early.
Yeah.
Usually. So, let's get a little bit lighter.
Yeah. I don't even know where to go that's lighter. We were talking about how you're stressed out, and I feel like it's funny, but it's not. But, like, my eye just starts to freak the fuck out when I get stressed out. And I think I'm doing pretty good, and then I wake up in the middle of the night with it just, like, beating out of my head. That was today. Oh, I'm kind of stressed out, I think.
Your body doesn't know the difference, like, between being sick and stressed. That's why they say you're going to, make yourself sick. You really will. That's how your body responds.
If you see me with an eye patch next week, because I've had to just pull it out.
I think you need to explain. It's not twitching. She doesn't start, like, because that's what I do.
No. No, like 2 years ago, around this time of the year, I was like, that's weird. My eye feels like there's something in it. And then...
No, it's not just a bag of alcohol for next week. Sorry.
No, unfortunately it isn't. Anyway, it's dumb. I have arthritis in my eye. Who knew? Who knew that was a thing? Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you're in your 40s. Shit like that happens.
Did they tell you, like, what?
No.
Was there anything that...
And when I woke up in the middle of the night, I was actually getting myself really pissed off about that. Like, why are they telling me you could prevent this by doing this? Or here's what helps. No, it's just really frustrating.
You think about arthritis and you think about overuse. You don't think about overuse of your eyeball.
It's just like, it's an inflammatory response.
We talked about eyebrows last week. So.
Oh, no, she sent me the funniest meme too. Oh, what's his name? Steve what?
Oh, he said language. I think that was...
There are no kids on this broadcast, Brian.
What were you saying about the meme?
How funny it was and what's his name? I can't remember. Steve? Is that his name, Steve? With the no eyebrows? It was like the stages of different levels of eyebrows. Yeah. And how weird you really do look if you have no eyebrows.
That's strange.
40 plus. That's right. I'm a protected class now. I'm also a woman.
She's an AMA.
Which also
she's an
makes
AMA
me in a protected class.
She's AMA. Advanced maternal age. That's a hard one to hear. You're like, oh, great.
Oh, I saw the note your kids wrote you that they would like a baby sister.
Oh, God. There's been, like, chanting. There was one day that they were like, baby, baby. I was like, no.
They don't know what they're asking. Yeah. As soon as the baby was there, I feel like they would despise the baby.
I don't know. Ruby wants to be a big sister so bad.
It's funny, Max
and they're at a different age.
Kate does. She's always like, please.
Violet is a caretaker. Like, she loves, and she still does. She still tries to boss, Ruby around, and she does, she's just so concerned, usually. Sometimes she'll get hurt and won't say anything. It's like, oh, she's in the backyard bleeding to death, but I'm in here watching this Harry Potter episode,
I'll get to you later.
There's other times where
You'll
she's
still be
like,
laying out there.
Like when you're really sick, like she wants to be the caretaker.
That's
when you're like,
that's a real fun one. You got a baby in there? Max used to always say that to me. You got a baby in there, Mom? No, actually, but now I feel real good about myself. Thanks. Yeah.
I love kids. I love kids. I love the stuff that comes out of their mouth.
It's pretty good, especially when it's like a poke. You got a baby in there? Mm-hmm. That was a fun one. Mm-hmm. No, Max, anytime anyone eats, their stomach gets bigger. It just is what it is. Look at yours. Now he like stands with like his stomach puffed out. He's like, oh, it looks bigger than yesterday.
He's such a charmer, though. He can get away with all that.
I don't know. Like, please don't ever say that to anyone else, please. Promise me you will never repeat this. He says whatever.
He's funny.
Parenting.
Oh, yeah. Big bowl of pasta. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You eat dinner and you are going to look like you maybe 5 months pregnant. That's about where I end up every day. Like, really? I started out okay this morning. What happened to me? You guys. Such a good conversation. You can't see in here, and I'm glad, because I created a humongous explosion before we started this that we have to wrap up before we leave here.
Yeah. So we probably won't keep you guys
huge candle restock, if you're wondering. Huge.
It's candle season. It's fall. Mm-hmm. We got to be ready for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. Fall is my favorite season.
Well, and guess what? We are all divided on a lot of different things right now, but one thing I have so far found most everyone agrees on is that they love candles.
Yes, it's true.
You can be Republican, you can be Democrat, you can be whatever you want to be, and you can still appreciate a good candle.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we need to look for those little things first. Like, let's find the little common things and let's move to a tiny, bigger common thing.
You see, yes, fall is, I don't know, there's something about the way that the air smells.
Yeah, fall's my favorite.
The colors, like, and it's funny because it's not like, I don't actually decorate for fall in my house. That's not my thing. Or pumpkin spice, I see that. I like pumpkin spice in food. Mm-hmm. I don't like to drink it or even in a candle necessarily. She has a good one.
I do have one for the people who love the pumpkin spice, and I like it.
And you wouldn't know it's pumpkin spice. Like that's not what it is. So it is just a fall scent. But there's something about it. I like
it's magical.
Yeah.
The changing of the leaves. I like it when it gets a little bit crispier.
Me too.
And crisper. I like wearing sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
I like taking walks and seeing the changing leaves.
Mm-hmm. All those things.
My birthday's in the fall. Which is always in my name.
It's the day before Ruby's, so I'll never forget it. And yeah, I like winter too, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy something about each season, but there's just something about fall.
Yep, there's something about fall, and there's something about late winter that just sucks.
Oh, I thought you were about to say good. I was like, that's when I want to run out of here.
No, I like
out
winter
of my skin.
When it starts, and then by the end of it, like February, March, I just want it to go away.
Well, especially here with the rain. Like, you get used to it after living here for many years.
Sure, but I feel like it gets worse, actually. Like, for a long time, it didn't affect me, and then all of a sudden, it was like every year feels worse than the one before, where I'm just praying for the time when the days start to get a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, there's something about the wet cold. I try to explain this to, like, some family, like, back home. It's like, yeah, we have a mild winter, but there's something about always being wet.
Like, you have to take a warm bath to warm up. Like, nothing else helps.
Yeah.
Or shower or something.
And that was not a window for our dirty jokes to start coming. I feel like...
But with fall coming, candles, maybe a little turban to wear to keep you warm, just like it's keeping us nice and warm in here. Very warm.
See, I have to like keep sweat off. Like
it's
almost like a bandana.
It is a multitasker.
I'm telling you, when it was so hot in Japan, I was in Japan last August, and it was the hottest I have ever experienced, and that's me coming from the South. And I went around like this just to keep the sweat out. It was like my eyelashes were sweating. It was like what? It was just
how uncomfortable. Yeah, that really hurts when it gets in your eyes.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm
this eye especially.
All right, we've probably bored y'all enough.
Oh yeah, I mean, thanks for showing up.
Yes.
You do not know what we're going to talk about, just like we don't know what we're going to talk about, and it always turns into something I would never have predicted.
Mm-hmm.
We will just keep doing this.
So don't forget, September. Let me not get tongue-tied. September's book bag is up and available. Next week, we're going to take a little break, but we will have a celebration pack centered around school.
Oh, and
that'll
something
be super fun.
Not to forget also is our workshop is coming up. And those kits are up online too.
Yep. So mid-September, just something mindless that we have completely packaged for you. You don't have to think about it. It's just an activity it's just a good excuse to get together.
Yeah. Hang out, drink some wine. Obviously at your house, we'll be at our house.
Yeah. And make something. We have a lot of plans for these, so hint, hint. The garland will be going on trees. So
it's not a hint. That's just a tell. You just told everyone. It's fine.
Well, they might want more for their tree.
Yeah, one will not be enough.
By the way, when I said I do not decorate for fall, I am insane.
For the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
So, I'm excited. All right.
Okay.
Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us.
Love you.